Hey, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Dimari.
And we're Side by Side. On behalf of Side by Side, just a quick note before the show begins. We created this platform for people to share their stories and perspectives on a wide range of topics. We just want to let you know that the views and opinions expressed by guests on the show do not necessarily reflect those of our own. And now, enjoy Side by Side Podcast.
Hi, I'm Dimari.
And I'm Brandon. Before the show begins, please subscribe, like, comment, and share with a friend.
This allows us to increase our visibility on the platforms where you listen and watch so we can continue to bring you quality content each week. Help us grow, and we can grow together by enlightening minds one question at a time.
And now, back to the show. Welcome back to Side by Side. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Dimari.
We're here. If you haven't caught the podcast yet, we are here to engage in meaningful conversation, hopes to create unity through diversity by enlightening minds, one question at a time. We do that by bringing on two strangers each week to show we have a lot more common than meets the eye. Today we have two amazing guests, Darius Burton and Willie Towns. Going to bring them on in a second to chat. Before we do, our weekly ritual. What are you excited about, Dimari?
I'm excited about Fight Night again, bro. I don't know what you've done to me, but
we're making it a religion now.
It is almost like a religion. So we got Fight Night tomorrow. I love Izzy, bro. He's like he's a real life living ninja, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's like the real deal.
Unreal. So
I'm excited to see him. We're doing the squares, the fight card. You came up with a whole like betting thing. He's got me out here gambling, guys. Like, so that'll be fun. This
is the unofficial official hashtag UFC Fight Night party thing we're starting here. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but we've just been doing it with our friends, but maybe we'll turn it into a real thing eventually here.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be growing, and as we keep meeting more and more people out here, like I think it's a great thing. Like we like it. We found a group of people that also enjoy it. So I think this will be the third side by side fight night event. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that, man. I'm really hoping Izzy will secure the bag because I just like him, man. Yeah. I don't know why, man. Something about him, man. But what are you excited about, man?
I'm really excited about the music project we're working on. So I've been kind of had this writer's block for a while with music, and recently started kind of feeling the inspiration again and coming out of my shell, going back to my roots, listening to some like old school shit I listened to growing up, like some Usher 8701, Confessions, Craig David, just taking that in again, and it's got me kind of getting back to my roots with this R&B thing. And some of these fucking slammers we're making, bro. People better look out.
Yo, so I was sitting at the crib chilling, minding my business, working on the podcast. I get a text. I see it's a MP3 file or something like that from Rizzo. The title was Wet. I was like, nah, I can't open that right now. There's no way I can open this right now. I'm trying to finish the podcast. I'm glad I did. I opened the track, fire, fuego, and whatever other language you say fire in. Yeah. And I opened it up, and we were just working on it before the podcast. Actually, we'll play it for the guests maybe if we can a little bit later. See,
yeah. I
mean, it's a rough draft, but it is like, man, I'm feeling the R&B vibes too, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's good. It's really good, man. But let's bring these guests on.
Yes,
bro.
And by the way, we got Tux here. This is my dog. He's our unofficial third host of the Side by Side podcast.
He's the mascot.
He needs some loving right now. His mama's out of town, so he's hanging with the guys. We got a guys' weekend.
Yeah, and if you've been watching the podcast, you've definitely heard him bark before. So if he sits in my lap, maybe he won't bark. We'll see.
Yeah, let's bring these guests on. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce Will Towns, Darius Burton. How you guys doing today?
Great, man. How are you?
It's doing
good.
Well, man.
How about yourself?
Yes, great.
Super excited, man. Super excited for these people. So
should we kick it off with a little cheers? I know everybody's got a little
we got
little drink
cheers,
here.
Man.
Cheers, fellas.
Salud. Compai.
Cheers. Boom.
Hey, love it, man. So we got DJ Will Trey, man. That's his moniker. Also Willie Towns. And then we got, business extraordinaire. Can I get a rose? Darius Burton on here too, man. Yeah. So I'm super excited about this episode, man. So I guess Darius, we'll kick it off with you, man. What has you excited at the moment?
Right now, I'm really excited about the NBA season.
Yes.
And I think, a lot of it has to do with the new relationship that I just built with the number 2 overall pick, Chet Holmgren.
Oh, nice.
That's like little bro right now. And we were able to, put some things together and get a small bag together. So that has me excited right now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Can you get into I don't know. Can you get into like what you have going on?
Well, I mean, he basically signed an endorsement deal with the brand that I represent, which is Ethica. Out here, we're in sunny Southern California.
Hey,
and so me and Chet had a relationship prior to, but to see it all come full circle, we're able to get some money together and put some things in the air. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Always a beautiful thing to make.
That's
money,
awesome.
Man.
Are you a big NBA fan yourself?
I am.
Who's your team?
Up, come on, man. I grew up, born and raised in California, so it ain't nothing but Lakers over here.
All right, good.
You're not raised to know anything else outside of the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the way that it's always been. In my house growing up, my grandma was a season ticket holder when the Lakers were at the Forum. So, I got to go to a lot of games as a kid, and just experiencing that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, why would you want to root for any other team?
Nice.
So, we've been down a little bit, but, it's nothing like Laker pride.
Yeah, I lived in LA for 5 years from 2014, 2019. But I grew up in Cleveland, so I'm a huge Cavs fan with LeBron and everything.
Wow.
So when I lived there, obviously, and after the championship run with Cleveland, and he moved to LA, I loved always rooting for LeBron. I'm just always going to root for the hometown hero. So, and I got a lot of buddies back there that are big Lakers fans that grew up in LA, and yeah, I know all about the culture and stuff. It's just anytime somebody says they're a California basketball fan, I gotta ask, because sometimes they might be, GSW, and we ain't here for that. I'm not here for that.
God.
You know that?
I don't even consider that a part of California basketball. Like, the Bay Area is a whole nother atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, Southern California is like the hub of basketball.
Yeah.
So like Golden State, I mean, their fans are what they are. They just started winning, so they don't know how to act yet. So it's all good. We still respect them, though. Like, we've been winning for a long time, so we know how to present ourselves. Yeah. So it's all good.
Well, we used to joke in this group chat I'm in with the Laker guys. There's one Golden State fan in the group, and we used to joke because all the Golden State fans up until about 2013 were Lakers fans. So,
yeah,
there's that.
Wait, so did you ever go to any the Lakers games? Yeah, you did. I've never been, man. I've only been in that area. It's like the moment you just head like a few blocks east, like you're like
downtown?
Basically like in the hood.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like by what's that, like Pico and Olympic or something like that?
Yeah, like that's what people don't understand. Is like that whole area is technically the hood.
Yeah.
But they re-gentrified it, and they make sure that not too many homeless people come into the area to, deter the money from coming in there as well. So you get people coming from all over that want to go to LA Live and visit Staples, or it's not Staples anymore. It's crypto or something like that. But it's always going to be Staples for like the OGs.
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, they want to come down there and visit. But it's cool. Everywhere has their pockets of hood.
Yeah.
So LA is just one of those cities as well.
It's so funny that you say that, because like I feel like a lot of the adults now that grew up in the 90s, like myself, the Cleveland arenas were all were named after somebody who like started it. So it's like the Gund Arena and Jacobs Field. So even though they've changed to whatever the team is owned by now, it's like if you grew up there, you still call it Gund Arena or Jacobs Field. You still call it Staples Center.
Nah, even like for baseball, like we still call it the Comiskey Park, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's like it went from Comiskey Park to like U.S. Cellular Field to now it's Guaranteed Rate Field. It's Comiskey Park, like, forever, bro.
Yeah.
But back to the hood though for a second, like that hood, it's like a Mexican hood though. Like, bro, I had some of the best tamales ever, bro.
Yeah.
The best tamale is this dude that goes around like 8 a.m. yelling like tamales.
Yeah, you also have in East LA. You also have Koreatown, so it's like it's the second largest Korean population in the world. So outside of Korea, LA has the largest Korean population. So East LA has all the Korean barbecue spots and everything. Yeah,
I went to a recording studio there, like Koreatown. It's like downtown, I guess. Is Koreatown like near downtown?
Yeah, well, it's like before you hit the East LA, like, but before downtown, it's like Koreatown, East LA, then downtown.
Yeah. Maybe I was like straight downtown. I was like in a high rise somewhere. It was like crazy. I was like, what? Is a studio here? Crazy, man. But let's get Will Trey on here, man. So, Will, what has you excited at the moment, man?
Yeah.
Man, this weekend, man, that's just it, man. You know me being a DJ, bro. I got some good parties from tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Of course, I'm taking a break, man. But just this weekend, just me being busy and doing what I love to do, making money doing what I love to do, man.
Nice.
That's what really has me 100% excited.
Yeah, because it's a holiday weekend. We don't know when this is going to air, but it's going to be the 4th this weekend. So what spots are you hitting up? What city are you DJing in?
Actually, man, both the parties are going to be in the city. Chicago, they're going to be in the city. Both private parties. I'm not doing no club. One of them, man, is a Freaknik theme party, so you pretty much know the vibes from that one, bro. So it's like I'm kind of excited about that, just to see how they come in as far as how they gonna dress and how they just gonna show out, man. I like the 40s and stuff, like, bro. I like when people be bringing 40 ounce beers and women wearing their hair in like the 90s, early 90s dudes, man. I just want to see just how they gonna come as far as like partying,
denim and shit.
I hope they not wearing denim at the Freaknik.
Daisy Dukes and
better be denim bikinis, bro. That's crazy. So wait, like, and what does the wife think about this?
I'm coming back with a check, bro. So it ain't like I'm going to, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a check, man. It ain't like I'm going out there to you know, to mingle.
Yeah, you going out there to look and get a check. Ladies, pay attention, okay?
That's okay. It's okay to look. It's okay to look. That's all you can do.
This actually
makes
me...
I might even take her with me.
Hey, there you go. Bringing sand to the beach. This makes me think of... for the listeners, me and Willie, we actually met in high school, and I guess we'll talk about that potentially. But there was a security guard there. His name was Sarpy. I think Andrew Sarpy. And Andre Sarpy. And he would... He had something to say for anything that we would say, and one thing I remember saying, like, looking is not ain't nothing wrong with looking, and then he started like quoting like a Bible scripture or something, and that instantly just made me think of that, like something like no temptation starts in the eyes, brother, like something I don't know the scripture, but that's what made me think of that.
And he was always tough with it too, like how you gangster with a Bible verse, bro. Like you
call yourself like Jack, bro. Like no Jack, that ain't right. Like Sarpy, man, shout out to Sarpy wherever he is. That's pretty cool, man. So all private parties, city of Chicago, all weekend, the entire weekend is private parties?
Just today and tomorrow. You know, Sunday I'm going to take the kids to the zoo, man, and just enjoy the weekend because my son's birthday was yesterday. So I'm going to take him to the zoo, man, on Sunday. You know, that's my day off.
That was his first birthday, right?
Yeah, his first birthday, man.
Man, that's huge, man. Happy birthday, little guy.
Yeah.
That's huge,
happy
man.
Birthday.
So is
happy birthday, man.
You going to Brookfield or Lincoln Park?
Yeah, Brookfield, man.
That's the real zoo.
I don't even know what Lincoln. Right, exactly. I don't even know what Lincoln Park offers anymore, man. Like,
I think crime.
So probably pit bull mixed with Rottweilers or something.
It's pretty bad, man. So, Will, while we have you, man, just tell us a little bit about like your upbringing and your family structure and the work you do and how you got into it and where you are today.
it all kind of goes together, man. Of course, like I grew up in a 2-parent household. You know what I mean? I didn't have to really want for much, but I always had what I needed. Some of what I wanted. You know what I mean? So I pretty much had it good growing up. I didn't really know the struggle. At least my parents didn't let me know that we're struggling. You know what I'm saying? If we were struggling, So my dad always was supportive of whatever I wanted to do, from the music to just everything, sports, all of that. So I pretty much started off my DJ career off of him giving me my first record at like 4 years old, man. At 4 years old, he gave me my first vinyl record, Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On," and
Nice.
he gave me his radio. And he just told me, "Here, scratch on it, do this, that, and the third." And that pretty much was like with me not knowing, me unconsciously beginning to build my love for music, and then eventually falling into the DJ career. And so years later, come 2009, he just came to me randomly one day and was just like, "Yo, you want some DJ equipment?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Well, I had already had an interest in, rapping, singing, producing. I just always had the love for music. So that's one time I'm just like, all right, yeah, no doubt. It's free. He paid for it or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll take it. So, add to my category, So he like, bet, come on, let's go. So he got me my first thing of turntables. And from there, I just took off, man. And I was trash like the first year or two. I was so trash. And then it just like, I ran into one guy named DJ Big Pat who worked for the radio station here in Chicago. God rest his soul. He just showed me the game. He put me in my first clubs. He showed me really how to DJ and put music together and when to play something, what to play at this certain time. And from there, man, it's just been up. And I do appreciate my mom and my pops for actually believing in and supporting in everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah, beautiful. That's huge. And, first thing that came to mind for me is it really does come full circle that your dad gave you the "Let's Get It On" record and you DJing for a Freaknik. So it all makes sense.
It was training.
Yeah, it was definitely training. No, that's pretty cool. And so you grew up in Chicago, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago on the south side, in Dalton, man, south suburbs, man. But people from Chicago know that it may be a suburb, but it's not a suburb. It ain't no Brady Bunch next door. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Let's normalize making suburbs cool. Like, it's okay to be from a suburb, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What Marlon was saying, why you mad at me? Because my mom was able to provide for me and put me in a better environment than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you mad at me?
Who said that?
Marlon.
Our Marlon?
Yeah.
Marlon. Okay. That's hilarious. No, Marlon's hilarious, man. Okay, that's pretty cool, man. So,
are you a small business owner, young professional, or pre-retiree looking to grow and protect your assets but don't know where to start? With all the noise about stocks, bonds, cryptos, it can be hard to know what steps to take. Let Black Swan Financial Group help you so you can focus on doing what you're good at. Black Swan Financial Group is a telefinancial planning firm operating in select states nationwide. They're here to help you protect, create, and grow your assets. Visit BlackSwanFinancialGroup.com today to get your free consultation. Hey everybody, Brandon and Dimari from Side by Side here. Just want to tell you about one of our newest sponsors, Ease Web Development.
Ease Web Development specializes in building high-conversion websites and marketing campaigns that take your business to the next level. They're the easy decision when it comes to marketing.
So check them out now at www.easewebdev.com. That's ease, WEBDEV.com. Now back to the show.
Darius, tell us a little bit about like your upbringing and family structure and what you're doing and how you got there.
No doubt, man. So my family structure was definitely the exact opposite of Will's. I grew up in a single parent household. My mom, my dad, he's always been around, but not around, if that makes sense. Like my dad, he was before I was born, my dad was, one of the biggest drug dealers in LA. Wow. And, eventually when you start getting that fast money like that, that shit eventually catches up to you.
Yeah.
So, my dad went to jail when I was 2 years old, and he got sentenced to a 10-year bid. So right off the cuff, like, I'm 2 at the time. I won't see him again until I'm 12 years old. So, we're all men here. So we know by the time you're 12 years old, you damn near think you know everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So my mom did the best she could, to raise us. But I would say, growing up was definitely a struggle. We wanted for everything and got nothing. My mom never had to work because my dad always provided and took care of everybody. So she didn't have any skills to actually work when it was time for her to go and get a job. So, we were on welfare. We had, like Section 8 housing, living. And then even then, sometimes she couldn't afford to pay that. So then we would have to, go stay with people for, 1-2 months at a time. So I bounced around a lot as a kid, never had any stability, which is, like I said, it made me who I am today.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, my dad gets out of jail and, things are starting to turn around and get a little better. And then boom, what happens? He gets popped again because he only knows one thing, and that's how to hustle. So, at a young age, I've always had a hustler's mentality. Like, I'm going to get it by all means. But I knew that I couldn't do everything the wrong way because I never wanted to end up like my dad and be in and out of jail.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of those things, like once you go to jail, like that holds on to you for a long time. And like every little thing can send you right back.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, I bounced around from spot to spot. Live with different relatives. And I think that the turning point in my life, and, not to say like I did everything by the book, but when I was younger, I definitely got with the wrong dudes. I was, selling drugs, doing drugs, all that kind of stuff at an early age. So everybody tells me I have an old soul, and I honestly feel like I've been here before because of all the stuff that I've been through. So, my dad goes back to jail, but I think the turning point in my life was I would go visit my grandpa every summer in San Jose. And this is why I made the comment about the Bay earlier being just like another world. Yeah. But he lived in San Jose, and I would go visit him. And then I remember 8th grade summer, I broke down when it was time for me to go back home because I knew what I was going back to.
Yeah.
And, living with my grandpa, he remarried. So, it was essentially a 2-parent household for me. And I had my big cousin who lived up the street. So we did everything together all summer. And so me and him got to talking when it was like nearing time for me to go home. And he's like, man, you should just see if your mom will let you stay. And I'm like, let me stay? Like, stay where? And he's just like, you should just live here at grandpa's house and like, start high school here. And so I never even thought about it that way. But, I talked to my grandpa about it. And then he ended up talking to my mom. And, my mom was my grandpa's oldest child. So he kind of could just tell her what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And she just kind of had to go along with it, So I moved with my grandpa when I was 13, almost 14. And I started high school in San Jose. And that actually, that changed the trajectory of my life. Because had I gone back, I would have been, doing the same thing. Messing around with the same knuckleheads, and it would have been something bad. Like it would have been the cycle repeating itself pretty much. So I can honestly say that moving up north to San Jose that saved my life. So I lived with my grandpa until I was a junior, or the beginning of my junior year. And my grandpa actually was murdered out in Dallas. So it forced me back down to Southern California. But I knew that I couldn't live with my mom. I had to do something different. So I actually moved in with my aunt, who I call her like my auntie mom. And I lived with her until I graduated high school. At the age of 17, her and my uncle took me in. My uncle was LA County Sheriff. So he taught me a lot about being a man. Like, him and my grandpa combined taught me a lot about, being a man, because my dad was away for so long. So I learned a lot of different things from them, from how to open a bank account to balancing a checkbook and, doing those kind of things, just stuff that my mom never had when we were growing up because she just wasn't responsible. So she relied on somebody else to take care of her. And, ultimately that backfired when that person wasn't around. So, I did that whole thing. I graduated high school with a 3.8. I got a scholarship right out of high school to play football at UNLV. Didn't last long, but, it's something that I definitely put on my resume. And, and it is what it is. Like, life has taken a turn for me. Obviously, again, I fell back into old ways. Whenever the money gets low and you have to take care of yourself, like you resort to what you know. And so I fell back into my ways of like selling drugs and doing that kind of thing to get by. But I knew ultimately like that wasn't the end all be all for me. And then once I found out I was having my son, it was time for me to clean up my act. And so I did. And I took a job at LRG, Lifted Research Group. And I made boxes for 8 hours a day, like 7 days a week. Like all I did was make boxes. It was kind of like their way of hazing you to see how long you would stick around to do that. And I did it for a long time.
Wow.
And then it kind of just opened different doors for me to get me to where I am today, which is, to think back on it, it's crazy. Kind of telling that story, like gets me kind of like emotional because, I went through a lot as a kid.
Yeah. Man.
So, yeah, man.
Can we just pause for a second? This, bro, are you the true story behind Boys in the Hood right here? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm listening, I'm instantly just like, that's one of my favorite movies. I was like sitting here, I'm like, this man is Boys in the Hood. Yeah. It's the reverse version of Boys in the Hood.
He actually made it out.
Yeah.
No, dude, clap it up for Ricky Rose, Darius Burton.
But also, I mean, it's amazing. You went through those circumstances and you got to where you are now. Yeah. And there's so much to unpack there. And I know Will can speak to a lot of stuff, similar stuff that you just spoke on.
No, he grew up in the suburbs. He told us.
No. We're gonna get to it, but like the club stuff and things like that. But what I was, if you're okay with sharing, Darius. Please, could you just tell us? So you were living with your grandpa, and then he got murdered in Dallas. What happened?
So my grandpa was an entertainer, and he was like the third generation leader of the Drifters. His name was Bobby Warren.
What?
And and this is crazy too that like we're having this podcast around this time because every 4th of July down in Santa Cruz they have a boardwalk. So my grandpa would perform at the boardwalk every single 4th of July.
Wow.
Like hands down, like even, like I said, I would go down there and visit him during the summer. Yeah. So those are like vivid memories that I have of him, like performing at the boardwalk down in Santa Cruz. And so he would do that every year. So yeah, he traveled around the world and I remember him taking us to Ducks games, where he would do the national anthem, 49ers games. Like, we had dinner at Jerry Rice's house one time. Wow. Like, so it was like crazy experiences that I had that I never thought that I would be afforded. But he opened different doors and kind of showed me a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was down in Dallas. He was doing a show and there was a kid, 17 years old. My grandpa, he's, like I said, he grew up in Ohio, Cincinnati, and then moved down to South LA. So he's always been from the hood. So when he would go on the road, he would go like find the hood spots, like because that's where he was most comfortable. So he's in Dallas, he goes and he finds like a blues bar down there or something like that. And he ends up staying to the wee hours of the morning. And then when he's getting ready to go, some young kid, and I call him a kid because he was 17 years old at the time, he wanted the rental car that my grandpa was driving, and he wanted, my grandpa's jewelry. And, basically the kid said that he was hitting a lick. So my grandpa wasn't moving fast enough for him. And so the kid shot. And when he shot, it like bounced off the window and hit him in the head. And it was a small little gun, a 22, I think. So the bullet, bounced around. Yeah, and it bounced around, and that's what ended up ultimately taking his life. So, that was one of those things where it was just like, damn, and not only did we lose my grandpa, but then in my head, I'm like, damn, so now what? What do I do now? Because I know that I can't go live with my mom back where she was. I think at this time she was in Apple Valley, Victorville or something, in a trailer park, pretty much. And so I'm like, dude, that I can't do that. I already know what that's going to lead to. So my aunt and uncle were nice enough to, take me in and treat me as if I was their own, and love me as if I was their own. And they took care of me, and my uncle just showed me the way, man. Showed me how to be, a better person.
And how old were you when your grandpa died?
My grandpa died, I think I was 16.
Yeah, I think he said junior.
Yeah, I was going into my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
So I was 16 years old. And so, for the last basically 2.5 years, I lived with him. And, he showed me, the ways. And so this was now what I was starting to get accustomed to my lifestyle being.
Yeah.
And, so it's hard to think about going back to where I came from. So yeah, it was all, just transition and just being focused and knowing that I kind of had a greater purpose in life. Yeah. And it was my job to fulfill those things and, make it what it is. But yeah, man, I mean, I've been through some shit, crazy.
Amazing.
People wouldn't even they would look at me today and be like, no way.
Yeah.
But everybody has to go through something.
Well, I think everyone goes through something, but not everyone comes out of it, right? And it's it just shows resilience and your perseverance. But one thing, just kind of pegging back to Will, I saw between you two is you both mentioned that there was someone in your life that kind of acted as a mentor to show you the way, right? So I think Willie mentioned DJ Big Pat, right? Showing him, and you mentioned some people showing you, LRG. Willie, can you just kind of, tap into the importance of having someone, showing you the way, and maybe some of the men in your life that, maybe showed you how to be a man?
As far as how to be a man, bro, it's I got my grandfather, I have my father, I have my uncles. I don't have no aunties like that. Both my parents had brothers. You know what I'm saying? My mom's the only girl. My dad got 5 brothers. So it just pretty much, I've been around all different type of characters, you know what I'm saying, as far as men, so. Yeah. My dad was definitely one of the ones, the thing is, man, me growing up in a 2-parent household, me and my dad never really had a big relationship because my dad always worked. He always worked 2 jobs my entire life up until I was maybe 20 years old. He finally just retired from one job. But that showed me how to be a provider and go and hustle to get get what you want. My grandfather was more of the family man. Of course, he'd provide for you, but he also take the time to kick it with you, you know what I'm saying? And take you to McDonald's, take you to the park, and do whatever, come to grandparents' night at school and stuff like that, So that was more so of the, what do you want to say? I don't want to say the father figure because I have my father, but that was just, I guess, the love part. And then my uncles just, I just got different uncles that just want to fight all day, and just, so I got the toughness from all of them, and, my sense of humor, my toughness, my older brother, definitely somebody that's just enough said in itself. An older brother, so you're going to get beat up, you're going to get life lessons, and you're going to get jokes, talk, you're going to get everything out of that. So I've had every type of avenue to be shown how to be a man and a father. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's crazy that you say that, Will, because my shit was the exact opposite. My grandparents, they have 7 kids together. So I have one uncle, and I have all the rest are girls.
Wow.
So, and my one uncle.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my one uncle that I have, he spent time in prison too. So he wasn't around. So it was me running with a house full of girls.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, like, people used to fuck with me, like, because I was soft, bro. Like, I didn't know how to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to be, like, you know, I'm ready to get down. Like, they didn't teach me how to fight. Like, I had to learn how to fight on my own. I got beat up a lot, bro. Yeah. And, like, at one point it became where, like, people would pick on me because they knew, like, I was always, like, a bigger kid, but I was an easy target. Because niggas knew I couldn't fight. So they like, oh, like, I'm having a bad day. Like, we about to go beat up on Darius. Like, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, you have to, you know, I had to learn. And that's when I got into the wrong crowd, because then I didn't have, like guys around in my family to show me the way. So then I started kicking it with the homies on the block. And I'm like, yo, like, I gotta get tougher. I gotta figure out how to make my way tougher, because I can't just be out here, letting people steal on me and I'd not do nothing about it, because the girls at the house is telling me, no, we don't fight. Like, you know, you play nice and make friends. And so at some point that shit got old. And so I got with the homies and I'm like, yo, like, you know, like, I need somebody to show me how to get down. Yeah. And that was how that happened. But then once those things happen, like, you start getting into other things. So they're like, oh, he got a pocket full of money. Like, now I got to figure out how I'm going to get my pockets fat, like, stuff like that. So it's crazy how, like, the family dynamic can, like, literally, like, change everything, you know, about you growing up. So
absolutely.
Man.
And you know, one thing, you know, just kind of listening to you is we're talking about, like, being a man, right, and having the right influences in your life. But, you know, there's a huge, like, distinction between masculinity, you know, being a gentleman, scholarly ways, and then I'm going to take the colloquial term, toxic masculinity right now. And so you still, both of you, right? You mentioned, Will, that, you know, you had uncles, they taught you toughness. I don't know if any of them, you know, were involved with, you know, being incarcerated or anything like that. But Darius, you mentioned
I think just about all of my uncles.
Okay.
Except one.
Okay. Interesting, right? So a lot of their traits are passed down to you, and you have to kind of distinguish which ones are, you know, going to be good and favorable and help you, you know, progress in life, and which ones are going to stunt you. So I guess, Trey, we'll start with you. Like, how did you, you know, distinguish which traits to pick up from these uncles, these influences in your life to help you, you know, Darius mentioned, like, balancing checkbooks and being a father and all these things, but then also being tough to the right degree?
I had different uncles. So I had in total of 9 uncles, between my parents. So I took different things that they did in life and I put it on myself. Like, for example, my uncle Tavon, my mom's youngest brother, God rest his soul. You know what I'm saying? He was the one who bought me my first pair of Air Force Ones, and I am a fool for Air Force One. I love Air Force One. So he's the one who showed me how to dress and how to, I hate to even say this, but it's the truth, how to really like pimp women, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just basically how to pick up women and tumble women from this girl to that girl, the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was my Uncle Tavon. My Uncle Parrish is the reason why I'm a barber right now. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Parrish is another one of my mom's brothers. He taught me how to cut hair. So I took that trait from him and made it a career. You know, and my dad's brothers, they are all city men. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's only one uncle that just really was like kind of like real chill.
Hold on. So now, what do you mean by city men? I don't know what that means.
City men, like, they wasn't the suburban, I guess, kid, like my.
Oh, so
like
now you want to distinguish the suburbs from the city. Back when we started it, he was like, "Oh, it was your daughter." No, man. Now you're on the city girl, city men. What's city men? Can you dig a little deeper for us, please?
All right, so let me rephrase it. The hood niggas, they the hood niggas of the family. If that's better.
I mean, I think I have a better understanding. Help us out for the white listeners, though.
For the Rizzos of the
Rizzo know what's up. He hip.
Yeah, Rizzo knows a lot about my life, man. Rizzo is an honorable brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but so my dad's brothers were all they were all gang members, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all of them were gang members except my dad, bro. So it's pretty much like I know how to gang bang. I know how to fight. I know how to not talk to just anybody you see. Always keep my head on a swivel. So it's like I took my gangster and my toughness from that side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so with them, it's pretty much, I got an Uncle Eric, man. This nigga don't have a conscience, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much, I learned not to fear much from him. Or don't fear shit at all.
Is that the one that like used to just headbutt people for no reason? That the one that headbutted me?
No, that's my mom's brother. That's my mom's brother, Tony.
Wait, did you say headbutted me? Bro, you got headbutted by Rizzo's uncle?
Bro, this man is nuts. They're all nuts, bro.
What was the situation that led to
Bro, he walked in the house and just boom.
Situation.
That's how it happened, like that fast. Like it's not a big deal.
He reached for his hand, bro. He reached for his hand, shook his hand as a regular
person.
And just
like,
pulled him closer and
and he bowed
him,
me.
bro.
And I was just like, what is going on? And then I found out he's like beats up people for a living. He was like Ludacris's security guard at the time.
Yeah, he was Ludacris.
So he would just like beat up people for, that's what he would do. And I'm pretty sure he had to fire him because
he took that and started doing it to other people.
Yeah, that's true. I did. That going back to picking up toxic traits from people. But I was like, man, I really got to learn how to headbutt. This is some serious. He got a shiny, like Mr. Clean bald head too, man. That dude was something special, bro. Man. He definitely headbutted. So, okay, but the question I really want to get at, and I'm going to shift to you, Darius, for a second, is how do you distinguish, which traits you should actually pick up from who? Like, how do you decipher that internally?
Well, when you're a young man, you're super impressionable, right? Yeah. So at that point, there's no way to determine what good traits you take and which ones you don't. You just kind of take it all in, and then you basically learn by process of elimination. Like, all right, probably not going to do that again because that one, got me in this predicament and I had to suffer this consequence. So for me, it was just more of, being aware of my surroundings, taking everything in, and then just basic trial and error. Like, that's the only way that I learned. Like, I had a lot of mistakes and things that, I never regret anything. That's one thing I always say about my life. I don't regret anything that happened, any hurdle I had to jump, anything like that. But there are some things that thinking back on it, obviously hindsight is 20/20. There are some things that I wish I would have done a little bit different and taken a little bit more serious. But I don't regret any aspect of my life. I never will. I think that a lot of the things that I've learned and that I've accomplished have come from, me just being open and willing to accept what God has given me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, so growing up, luckily I didn't have to experience a lot of this things you guys mentioned. But one thing that kind of stood out in my upbringing was, I was around a lot of like dysfunction within the family, where it seems like on outward appearances, it's, everything's great. You got two parents or whatever. But within the family, there's a lot of breakdown and there's a lot of dysfunctional shit going on and, abuse or whatever. And so I'm just curious kind of for you guys, thinking about kind of the environment that you were surrounded by. And, I'm sure there was a good amount of similar dysfunction going on. How does that shape you as men, and shift into the fatherhood thing? What do you do to make sure that dysfunction doesn't become prevalent within your own family so that you don't recreate that same, legacy of bad intentions or bad dysfunction within the family? How is that shaped kind of like you as a father? We'll start with Darius. That's cool.
For me, in all honesty, dysfunction actually became normal for me. Because I saw it so much growing up. Like, I've seen my mom get hit by men, get, choked, and, I've seen it all. So, like, for me, it starts to become a part of life. So you don't really know any better, bro. Like, and this is like off topic, but I watched this documentary a couple nights ago about the dude, what is his name? Warren Jeffs or whatever, right? And I don't know if you guys heard about that or if you watched it.
No.
It's called like Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
Okay.
But basically it's basically like the way my outlook on it is, it was like a cult like community, right?
Yeah.
And, there was these young girls that were being married to older men and things like that. And, for them, it was like, oh, you're doing God's work. And that's what they were told, right? Yeah. So for us, knowing what we know, like, you're like, dude, why wouldn't you just get out of there? Why would you like stay and continue to take that when you could just like get out of there and go somewhere else? Well, thinking about it, like those people don't know any better. They were born and they were raised that way. So that's all they know. They don't know anything else from the outside world. So to expect them to get up and just be free and remember or do things differently than, how they were raised and what they've seen for 15, 20 years, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So going back to me, those are the things that I saw. I saw drug dealing. I saw gangbanging. I saw men hitting women. I saw, men cussing women out. I saw women being ultimately disrespected. So those things were what I thought was normal because that's all I saw 24/7. That's all I was around. That's all, so to me, it was like, now I know that it was dysfunctional, but it took me a lot of counseling and therapy to like realize those things. But at the time, that shit was normal life.
Yeah. Well, I love that you love that you called that out because it is something I think just as men in general, we're raised in this way, and especially come from an environment like that where, therapy and that kind of stuff is you almost kind of try to be above it because you're too proud to admit that you need it, and I'm glad that the society is kind of changing in that regard for men to be more vulnerable and open to those sort of things as outlets to deal with the issues that they have. And that's beautiful that you spoke to that.
Man, I'm a firm believer in therapy. I go at least twice a month, and it actually was like probably one of the biggest things that like helped me and saved my life. Once I got over that initial hurdle of like people only go to therapy when they need help or like there's something like that's not mentally clicking with them or there's something that's wrong. Well, no, like you go to therapy to have a healthy relationship, not only with yourself, but with the people that are in your life. And you're able to communicate effectively to let people know like, all right, well, when you did this, this is how it made me feel. Or when you said this, this is what I heard you say. So it may not be what you said or what you meant to say, but from me taking it in and I'm telling you, this is what I heard you say, instead of me just flying off the handle and being like, I'm about to smack the hell out of you. Right. You know what I mean? So like, those are just different things that you learn, and I've learned growing up and going to therapy. Like it helped me not like, oh my God, I don't even know where I would be without it. So now that I have it, like I can't live without it.
Yeah.
Darius, I agree, bro. I actually just started therapy last week, bro. And it is a beautiful thing, bro. It is.
Oh yeah.
And then my therapist only caters to black men because he's like, yo, a lot of black men think that therapy isn't a necessity. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they like, yo, because I know I got a friend, bro. He like, I'm against therapy. He said, I don't need to talk to nobody and tell. And I was once like that until I was like, you know what? Let me put my pride to the side and talk to somebody. Because I do, like, even though, I did grow up good, you know what I'm saying? But I still do have childhood traumas. I still went through life going through traumas. And I feel like I never talk about them. You know what I'm saying? So with this therapist, it's just so dope, bro, because like we still ain't even got into my childhood traumas, but it's just this man told me so much stuff in just one session in 45 minutes, bro, that just made me like, yo, I'm going to do this every week.
Wow.
I have a therapy session Sunday morning.
And the other thing is, too, it's like people a lot of times are like, well, why don't you these guys, like, why don't you just talk to your girl or your guy or whatever? And it's like, when you go into therapy, there's no agenda. It's like that. Right. I might talk to Dimari or I might talk to somebody I know about a situation I'm dealing with, but they're going to give me advice based on their own, life experience and like knowing me personally, Exactly. Whereas like if you go to a person who doesn't know you, you're going to get no agenda, and it's going to be there's a process judgment. They're following. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zero judgment. And Will, man, I congratulate you for hitting that. That's a beautiful thing, man. And like I've been going for a while, like years now. And so the only thing I can say is trust the process and believe that you can do it, because it's going to be a process, bro. Like there was times where like there was things that were brought up and I had no idea what a trigger was. until I started going to therapy. But there was things that were brought up and were said, that were said about my childhood that made me the way that I am. Like I had a problem where I didn't trust a lot of women growing up, and so I just slept around on a bunch of girls because I had abandonment issues that I didn't even know I had from my mom, like letting me go at such a young age to live with my grandpa and not giving me that motherly love and, that advice and stuff like that. So, those things, now there's certain things that happen as an adult that you can't explain why they piss you off so much. So like when a girl, if a girl calls me and, not now obviously, but back in the day, a chick calls me and she's like, hey, I'm gonna come see you. I'll be there in 45 minutes. And then she shows up an hour and a half later. Like I'm off that shit. Like I can't deal with that because I don't trust you. Like you told me you was going to be here in 45, but you showed up an hour and 45 minutes later. So like for me, it was just like trying to understand what those things were and then learning to, effectively communicate how those things were making you feel.
Yeah.
And so that's like the biggest part of it. And, all I can say, brother, is trust the process. It's going to do great for you down the road. I mean, but I think
that one day was just amazing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I lose interest very quick, but I was just so interested and I wanted more. And bro, that shit was so dope, bro. It was just, I can't wait till Sunday, bro. Like that's how dope it was. Like this guy literally,
it's like unlocking a box for the first time, and you look inside, and you're like, "Oh, there's all these treats and treasures inside." It's right. That's how I feel when I learn something, or myself when I go to therapy, or whatever. It's like you kind of unlock this box, and you're like, "It makes so much sense," and it's like that aha moment,
right?
And those moments are invaluable.
You get to view yourself objectively through someone else's lenses, who's a neutral party. Which is huge. I've done therapy a couple times. Wasn't really my thing personally. Like I do my own therapy, but I just like to pick different people's brains. That's me. Because I'm just like, I went to a therapist once, a few times actually, but this one therapist just one time, and it was like it was super expensive. It was $500 for an hour, but it was like the best hour of my life. Like honestly, because when I talk to people, this may sound a little narcissistic, but I don't intend it to be that way. I just feel like a lot of people just can't actually talk to me. They're just like not really, they don't have the skill set to actually speak with me on certain topics. And because they just haven't experienced the things. They just haven't experienced they just don't know my life, right? And this woman, she was like a 92-year-old lady, like hunched over, like decrepit, like bro, best hour of my life.
What was it that was so special?
Our conversation. It was a breakthrough. It was huge for me. I remember leaving just feeling like 20 pounds lighter. And I was like, what just happened? And she's like, well, come back. And I'm like, yeah, $500 an hour? No.
I'll text you.
Yeah. I was like, but I totally see I definitely got value out of this, and I understand why you charge what you charge. I totally saw it. I was like,
my God, you got to get better insurance.
I have good insurance. I didn't even think about the insurance at the time. Honestly, we didn't even talk about that because the reason why I met her was something that was completely unrelated. And it just turned into a session that was awesome. But she's in New York. I'm no longer in New York anyway. But that lady she was just, and honestly, like, she was telling me, she was like, yeah, you don't really seem like a person that needs therapy because she said you seem like you could be a therapist. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting because I'm kind of like a therapist to a lot of my like people that I'm around or whatever. And she's like, yeah, but every once in a while, like you got to have a person that you talk to. And she's like, she has a person. Yeah. And she's like, she has a person she checks in with from time to time. And that was the first person in my life where I felt like I could be like completely just like vulnerable with. So therapy is definitely great, but one of the things that Rizzo asked that you guys didn't really get into was seeing all of those different things. How do you take all of that information and therapy and all of this stuff and then change that for your children so they don't necessarily experience what you went through as a child?
I personally, I try to keep them away from a lot of. I can't keep them away from my uncles, my game banging ass uncles, man. So I can't keep them away from them. So. But you know, they old and retired by now. So
gang members don't retire, bro.
Just basically
Never.
That's kind of true, bro. That's kind of true. Bro,
true. They don't have a retirement plan, bro. They still out here, bro, in these streets.
But I just pretty much just monitor everything that they do, what they say, how they act, and what they watch and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just, because I know me, my parents didn't give a fuck about what I used to watch. Goddamn Boys in the Hood and all Menace to Society.
Menace to Society,
bro. Yeah. You know, so I always just watched that type of shit, and I knew what I took from it as a kid. I didn't want to play with action figures, nigga. I wanted guns. You know what I'm saying? I wanted.
And you probably got a gun on you right now. I know him, people. Check him.
I do, bro. I do. But mind your business, bro. Mind your business.
Hey.
But right, I know. I see that back there. But yeah, I just pretty much just try to teach them the things that I wish I was taught differently. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'm going to teach them the game as far as how to be tough. As you know, I got 2 girls and a boy, man. So of course I got to teach my kids, my son especially, how to be tough and how to not do women how I once done women. You know what I'm saying? And teach my daughters how to not be the woman to be played, and also still teach them how to be tough. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to teach them differently than what I was taught. I just was taught just walking through life. That's just it.
Yeah. So yeah, my situation is similar. Like, you know how Will said, taught walking through life. So my shit just came a lot of trial and error. Like again, right. I didn't know what to take away, what to keep, what not. But thank God, like my uncle was around. So my uncle, who's not even my blood uncle, but he's married to my aunt, and you know he's always looked at me like I was the son he never had. So he has 3 daughters. He has 3 daughters, and so it's three girls and my aunt in the house. So when I came along and I was coming to live with him, he immediately took me under the wing like the son he always wanted but never had. So, you know, he taught me a lot of things, and he wanted me to do everything the right way, especially with him being, you know, involved in law enforcement. Like, he would break all the, you know, penalties down for things like, if you get caught doing this, then this is what's going to happen. And so by him setting that foundation was like, oh shit, well, I can't be doing that because then this will happen. And then, you know, when it came to my kids, which I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, my son, he's 17 and my daughter is 8. So they live, you know, they live a different life than I, you know, could ever even think of for them. But basically I had my son when I was 21, 22 years old. So I was a young parent, didn't really know much. But I just knew that I had to show him something different. Yeah. So, you know, his mom, she lived with her parents at the time. So he had, you know, his grandparents in the house. And, you know, we obviously weren't together. But, you know, I still always maintain a great relationship. And you know, we split custody with him. Well, we started to, and then things got kind of shaky. So, you know how women be. So, you know, my time became a little bit less, but, you know, nonetheless, I've always been in my son's life, and I've always, you know, taught him the things that my uncle taught and instilled in me. And so that was kind of like my blueprint, just watching my uncle move and how you're supposed to provide for your family and take care of your kids. Like, that's the things that make you a man. And so, you know, obviously, you know, sports, I always wanted my kids in sports and stuff like that. But I think just being out of the environment that I was in had already changed their life. So they, you know, they don't know what it's like down in living in the Nickerson Gardens, or, you know, hanging out on the corner of Century and Compton Ave. Like, they don't, like, you know, over there on Pyru and Plum Lily, they don't know nothing about that. Yeah. So all they know is they live in these big, nice houses. They got their own room. They got, my daughter is 8, bro, and she has her own checking account with a debit card. She knows how to go and check her balance and see if she got her, her biweekly deposit. So, like, I set up a thing when they get paid, I get paid. And granted, it's not a bunch of money. She gets $50 every 2 weeks, but still, it's something to teach her how to manage and be held accountable for something.
That's actually a dope idea, bro. I'm going to take that.
There's a company that does that, right? There's like a bank that lets you do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have Chase. So when my direct deposit hits, it automatically takes, $50 out from my account and puts it in hers. So she has her own debit card, and it's a free checking or whatever. But she has the app downloaded to her phone, which that's all the other thing too is these kids get exposed to so much so early that I almost think that they got it worse than we do because they're fighting against more things because the internet wasn't around when we were growing up. Right. You wouldn't have no TikTok. You couldn't readily access porn on your phone. Things like that, bro, that's a lot to deal with and handle as a kid, especially when you're trying to do the right thing. But, those things we didn't have those elements, but we had other things like shooting and robbing and drugs and, things like that. So it's just, I think the most important thing for me that helped my kids have a better future than me is just being out of that environment.
Yeah.
They don't know dad in Compton Avenue. They know dad that wears button up polos and diamonds, to work every day. That's what they know. They don't know the other side of the struggle that it took for me to get there and how hard I had to work to fight through adversity, and get to where we wanted to be and make sure that I took care of them. Yeah. So, it's just all different.
Completely different. That's super huge. One thing, craziest thing, when I went to LA for the first time, my mind was blown. I was, I was a teenager because I'd been to LA before, but it was my first time remembering being there. And I just couldn't understand. It's palm trees and sun. And I'm wait, why are people killing people here? It doesn't even look like a place where people would do that. But shout out to Louisiana's, man. That place is so good. Best chicken I ever had.
Oh God.
Yo, that place, I think it's Martin Luther King and Baldwin Hills, by the Baldwin Hills Plaza
or
something.
It's right across the street from the Crenshaw Plaza. That place is closed now. They didn't survive the pandemic, but they got Louisiana's everywhere, bro. But next time you come, we got a link. I'm gonna take you to some spots.
Louisiana's is what kind of spot?
It was a chicken spot. Basically, it's it was like Popeyes, but better, bro. It was imagine somebody took a bunch of seasoning and put it in the palm of their hand, and then they just punched it inside of a chicken and rubbed it around, and then they seasoned the chicken on top of it and then threw it in a fryer, bro. That's what Louisiana's was. It was
this is in LA?
Yeah, it was in LA. Yeah. He said they're all over. I didn't even know they were all over.
Will, what he's not telling you, though, is that they also sold Chinese food out of Louisiana as well. So you got the fried chicken with fried chicken. They had shrimp and fish. And then they turn around and they serve you a side of fried rice and orange chicken to go with it.
Yeah, because they were Asians, man. It was popping in there. I really enjoyed that place. But I want to shift gears a little bit, man. One thing you mentioned in your intro is you talked about something that was so near and dear to my heart, and I think Willie could attest to this. Is you talked about Lifted Research Group, man. You talked about LRG. Yo, so man, listen, dude, I'm talking about growing up during that era. I don't know what y'all was doing out there in LA, and maybe you could tell us a little bit. But for us, it was Jabot, it was Academics, it was LRG. Rockaware was in there at that time too, and I just loved LRG. Academics was my other one.
You actually the one who got me into LRG so crazy.
That was my favorite. I know. See, look at that. Hey, y'all still cutting checks over there, man? Can I get some royalties? Because I was that was all you, dude. The moment I get a little money or something, I'm running straight up to Belvedere Blues. We running straight up to River Oaks Mall to see what
Belvedere Blues.
LRG they have.
That
man.
era of fashion was like, that was a whole thing. I remember my childhood. I had these like the lug boots.
Yeah, that's
like,
before though. The lugs was like
lugs was still around.
No, we wasn't wearing lugs in high school.
I wasn't wearing
shit.
lugs.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah, I'm 32.
I'm
33.
So I'm older than all y'all. I'm the OG on this joint right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember I had these pair of lugs. The lugs, you got Fila, you got all that stuff like coming from that era of fashion.
Yeah, we was rocking that in like 6th grade, but by the time like high school came, it was academics, LRG, Rockwear, the stuff I just mentioned, right? So I definitely love the Jabot straps, but the LRG was just like, I don't know, like the designs, the imagery that they had, it just like I connected with it. It'd be like pictures of like people with like their hands in soil, with like trees, man. So tell us like how you got involved with that. Like what happened?
So I'm gonna give you the short version, but long story short, my son was being born. I fell back into my old ways. I moved out of my aunt and uncle's house when I was 18 years old. And so I was working at the bank, but I also was hustling on the side. And so I ended up getting fired from the bank just because I was showing up late. They didn't appreciate that. So I went basically into full-time hustling. Well, one night, Friday nights are always the busiest. So, I'm out making some runs, doing what I was doing. And we had a garage that you had to open manually. And so I opened the garage one night and we always left the light on, in the garage. So I drive my car in the garage, and as I'm driving in, like I hear a crunch, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, the light's off because the light went out, whatever. So I get out the car, close the garage, and in our garage we had like a storage unit. Like it was high up, and it was like where you keep like offset like Christmas decorations, whatever. Well, come to find out, there was some dudes in there that were hiding in the storage shed, and they actually broke the light. They got into my garage, they broke the light. They robbed me pretty much. And so at that point, I knew that like if I didn't stop what I was doing, I was going to go to jail or I was going to be dead. So one of my homies, DeAndre, he was working at LRG. So I would always buy like tons of gear from him. And he would give me a bunch of free stuff too. But I had hit him up and I said, look, man, like I got to make a change. Like, are they hiring over there? And he said, well, the warehouse is always hiring. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I just made $5,000 in fucking 5 hours. Like, what is a warehouse job going to do for me? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so I'm like, you know what? You got to be humble. You got to start somewhere. So I took a job in the warehouse. And so my first day there, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm about to check out all this fresh gear. I'm about to pull these orders, blah, 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 blah. No, bro. They put me in the top of the mezzanine. Mind you, it's middle of summer, hot as hell. And they put me in the top of the warehouse. There was this back set of stairs you walk up. You're in the top of the warehouse. There's no ceiling, and there's no AC in the warehouse.
Yikes.
So it's hot as hell. And they said, okay, start taping boxes together for people to pack orders, and like that's what we use for shipping. And they say you stack them 10 high. Once you stack them 10 high, slide them over here and just make a whole bunch of them. And I said, all right, like how many? And they said, well, just until we tell you to stop. So I'm like, damn. Sitting there packing boxes, or making boxes, stacking them 10 high. So I did that for probably 3 weeks straight before they were like, all right, we're going to change. You can come down and help us like pull some orders. So I'm hyped. Like I'm feeling like I got a promotion. And the next thing you know, they're starting to change over their system, and they wanted to call these customers and make sure that the system had the correct information before we switched it over to the new system. So I got inside the office, and once I got inside the office, it was like a whole new world. And I was like, yo, I'm never going to the warehouse again. So I had to figure out how to make myself relevant inside to where they didn't send me back out there. So they took 3 of us and they gave us books that were probably this thick. And they said, we want you to call every customer, like the 3 of you guys, every customer, and make sure that their information is correct. Email, phone, address, everything is correct before we transfer it to the new system. And so the 2 dudes I was with, they were also from the warehouse, but they gave up like probably 2 hours in. They were like, fuck this. We don't want to call nobody. We don't want to talk to them. So I'm like being the guy that I am, like, I got a hustler mentality. I'm like, no, don't give them the books back. Just give it to me. Like, I'll work y'all books. And so in my mind, I knew the longer I stayed inside the office, the more people would see me, and then the more useful they would think I could be. So literally I started calling, and, you know, people hear you on the phones. And I was good because I worked customer service at the bank. So I already knew what time it was. So I could talk to people. And then after that, I finished all the books. So I'm going to the sales manager. I'm like, hey, man, like, you know, everything in here, like, here's a ledger. Like, everything in here is correct. This isn't correct, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, cool. He's like, man, we really appreciate you, like, you know, doing this. And I was like, you know, no problem. If there's anything I could do, like, let me know. And he's like, well, we're actually thinking about starting a customer service team. Like, you want to be a part of that? And without hesitation, I'm like, hell yeah. And so that's how I got my start. I started off in customer service, moved up into sales, and then I did a little bit of marketing, and then it was up from there.
Wow.
But literally, LRG was like the start of me getting into this, and I knew nothing about this industry, but I knew that if I stuck around with the right people, and I always stuck with the dudes that was making the bread, because you don't just make money by sitting around wishing. So I'm like, I'm going to get close to the top salesman, have him show me some of the things that I need to know, and then that's how I'm going to slide my way in. So it just, I mean, it went from there. Like, without LRG, like, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, like, you know, with this opportunity. So, you know, that's what it was. But LRG, it was the dopest place to work ever. Like, there was no day that was the same, where you get Kobe Bryant coming in the office, you got DeAndre Jordan, and then you get Kanye walking down the hall, and then you got Big Sean, and then you got Wheelchair Jimmy, you know, down in the other hall. And I call him Wheelchair Jimmy still, but that's Drake. So that was like Drake before he was Drake. Like, he was
I was definitely
LRG.
so dumb to that.
Yeah.
Bro, he was LR. Like, we used him for one of our, like, 10-year campaigns. And they got so upset with me because I kept calling him Wheelchair Jimmy. And they were like, no, his name's Drake. And I was like, nah, his name's Wheelchair Jimmy. Like, that's what they call him on TV. That's what I'm going to call him now. And so that was like the first time I ever met the dude, but, you know, he didn't take to that very well. He wanted to be called Drake, and I just wasn't going for it.
Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
You
man.
just didn't give a fuck, huh?
Now
You
he's
just was like, hey, man, fuck your name. You're Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, side note. Hey, me and Dimari went to Driver's Ed, bro. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Hardball.
Yeah.
It was the guy from Hardball that was in our class, bro. The fat one, Jefferson. He was in our class, and Dimari kept calling this man Jefferson. He said, yo, that ain't my name. He said, nigga, you Jefferson.
Why you gotta embarrass me on my podcast?
Yeah, man.
Hey, man,
Revealing to the listeners, Dimari was a bully.
I was definitely not the person I am today. I've been delivered.
Definitely a 180.
Yeah, no, definitely big 180, bro.
Well,
it's funny, you share stories, bro. I don't even remember half the stuff I say. Sometimes I'll be talking to people just from that time of my life, and I'm like, I was a really terrible person, bro. Like, I was not a nice person.
I try to save your character so much from people, but I'm like, that's not Dimari no more. I say, he's not that guy no more. I say, he is not that guy no more. I say, you would not know this guy that you know, right? That you knew in high school. That is not him.
I was going
Fuck
around
him.
slapping people, bro. I was like, people still hate me? Is what you telling me? Is people out there that still hating me?
It's one person that I know is going to die hating you. I don't even want to put their name out there. But
you got to tell me offline, because, I mean, now I got to know. I got to rock a vest when I come to the crib, bro. Yeah. I don't know. It's so many people that I don't even remember.
I'll give you a clue. Puska.
Oh, really?
Talk about
I think I know who you're talking about.
Nobody knows.
I'm pretty sure that person just like reached out to me on LinkedIn. So I
don't know, but we'll talk about it later.
Hey, I'm good. I'm happy to know, because I can't even trust my LinkedIn connections now. So this is good.
I want to go back to Dimari's thing. So we talked to Will a little bit. So Will, you know, we know obviously because we've been friends with you for a while and know your music history. But tell the people, you know, all about your career and the things you're working on and doing.
Well, I'm a DJ, bro. So I was heavy in the club scene, bro, but I kind of took a step back because the club scene is kind of dangerous right now, bro. So I'm just more so taking private parties and more so bars, stuff like that, you know. So that's where actually the money is. But also, I'm still into actually working with artists, man. I was just actually talking to Troy Taylor recently, bro. You know, recently about an artist who is like a great friend of mine. He's an R&B artist. His name is Dev Walker. He's an awesome R&B artist, and I'm just like, yo, I need you to check this guy out. And I was just on 31st Street Beach last night, and I ran into one of the DJs for, matter of fact, he's like, I don't even think he's a DJ for him, but he's with Columbia. He's with Columbia, and he's one of the DJs who just sends, he's an exec who sends all the music out. Like, he sends every new single out, like on whoever the artist on Columbia is, he sends the music out. And so he always sends it once it's dropped, he sends it, he blasts it out on email. So I talked to him yesterday. I told him about Dev Walker. So basically what I'm doing is trying to get into more of getting my own artists out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna always be a DJ, man. I'm a DJ for my little homie PapaJay. You know what I'm saying? Little homie PapaJay. He's a R&B artist. He's an actor. You know, he's actually with me right now, man. So, you know, shout out to PapaJay. He's actually in the room with me right now.
He's out in LA now, right?
He stayed, but he's been here for a minute, you know what I'm saying, just taking a break. He just got done shooting a huge movie. I don't know if I'm able to say what it is. I can't. So he just got done shooting Creed 3.
Okay. Nice.
So he just got done shooting Creed 3. He plays Young Adonis, which is...
Oh, nice. That's huge.
Yeah, so he's a dope actor, but he's an even more dope artist, yo. And
yeah, he's been doing it since he was like 2, bro.
He's been doing it since he was like 6 months old, bro.
Yeah, so he's like basically the new Bow Wow, bro. I've been watching this kid like forever. Like, it's insane. Yeah. Like from a distance, I've never met him.
His father, you do have to meet him though, but I will definitely make sure you guys meet eventually.
Yeah.
But his father also had a name in Chicago too. You know, I can't say Darius that you will know who he is, you know what I'm saying? But his dad name is Tjay, you know, and he in the city was going as Mr. Windy City. He had a huge following. So also with TJ is one of the reasons why I'm into music also. You know what I'm saying? He won't push me to do more. Like, okay, I like what you did with that, but do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I also see that's what he's doing with his son, and his son is PapaJay. He's like killing it, bro. Like, he's killing it. His work ethic is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So I say that to say this, bro. Like, I'm just working with different artists that works with me, who sends me their music, and if I got faith in your music and I feel like your music is actually going to be it, I'm going to push you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm going to use my sources to help you out.
You
know what I'm saying?
I think that's super.
Troy Taylor today.
I think that's super important, and keep in mind, you know, you got to get the paperwork in order in the music business. It's a cutthroat business, and you know that makes me really want to.
I just think
ask.
I don't think I'm looking for anything out of it though.
Really, I mean, you're not going to do
honestly.
Well in the music business.
I don't know what it could come with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it could do. This guy's crazy.
No, I mean, honestly, I like the attitude that you have, but you know, the execs, they just don't share your sentiment. You know, so Rose, like, what made you sign Wale?
Man, don't even get me started on Wale. Wale don't fuck with me at all. That's an interesting story. No, there was a situation where he was at the LRG office one day, and there was an account that was going to buy lunch for the whole squad, and Wale happened to be there. And he tells me, he's like, hey, make sure they got skinless, boneless chicken meat or chicken breast for Wale. And I'm looking at him like, nigga, I don't work for you. Like, and first off, why are you talking to me like you're in third person? Like, that's first off. Like, that's weird as hell.
Wait, Wale told you that?
Yes, bro. Like,
and he referred to himself as Wale.
Yeah, he refers to himself as Wale, like, to make sure that they have boneless, skinless chicken breast for him. And I'm just like, nigga, I don't work for you, first off. Second off, yeah, like,
bro, you're doing the most.
Like, don't talk to me in third person.
Let me kiss your necklace,
like,
baby.
Yeah, like, nah, man. Like, so Wale, like after I told his ass something, like, yeah, he seen me a little bit after that. He didn't even say what's up. Like, he already knew what time it was. Like, bro, I don't fuck with you. You don't fuck with me.
Because
like,
you didn't kiss his ass.
Yeah,
so
that's the whole thing. Like, I don't kiss anybody's ass. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, bro, we both bleed the same. We the same people. Like, yo, I'm not gonna kiss your ass for what? Like, what is it that you're doing for me? Like, me kissing your ass ain't gonna pay my bills, so I don't care. Like, at the end of the day,
so how many people in the industry do you have beef with, Darius?
Oh, not many, bro, not many.
I mean,
everybody.
We know Wheelchair Jimmy, right?
Right. We got Wheelchair Jimmy, Wale. I mean,
that's it.
Who? I mean, honestly, so for the audience, I had the pleasure of meeting Darius one random night that I like literally had no business even being out. I'm out.
Oh my God.
I just stopped. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some pad thai or I think I want to pack him out. And so I'm driving, boom, boom, boom. I go into this place. I go in. I see a guy that I met the previous summer.
This was in Austin?
Yes.
Yes.
This was in the north suburbs.
This is the night you were out at
that night. Yeah, exactly. Because that was
you're that guy.
He's the guy. So I was out. I met a guy. I saw a guy that I met the previous summer at my pool. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, we call him Mr. Orange Toes. His name is Kyle, but he paints his toes orange or whatever. So we call him Mr. Orange Toes. So weird. I'm like, oh, Mr. Orange Toes. He a cool dude, though. He'll be a guest on the show. But Mr. Orange Toes, like, whatever. He's like, oh, da, da, da. He's like, sit with us. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, have a drink. I'm like, nah, I wasn't planning to drink. Like, whatever. He's like, man, have a drink. Blah, blah, blah. So I have a drink. Then I have another drink. And I'm just drinking. So the next thing you know, they sound the alarm. They're like, Rick Ross is coming here. And I was like, why would Rick Ross be coming here? I'm looking in the establishment. I mean, there's like 19 people in here. They're like, Rick Ross is and we're in Liberty Hill, or maybe that was Leander, but like a place you've never heard of, right? If you're not even from the area. So I'm like, I don't believe that. Darius walks in. I'm like, oh, he does look like Rick Ross. There's a guy in there that is obliterated, really thinks that Rick Ross is coming, and then like tries to like start a fight with Darius because he's not Rick Ross. It was the like most like ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
So the dude tried to press me. I like, first off, so shout out my man. He is a Purple Heart veteran, and he lives out there in Leander. Shout out P, shout out AB. Like, those are the folks I was with that night. Like, you know, we were just going to have some drinks. So he hit me like, yo, pull up to the spot. And I'm like, cool. But I guess before I got there, like, he was telling people that, like, I knew Rick Ross, or I know Rick Ross, or I look like Rick Ross. I don't know what the situation was, but I guess people were expecting Rick Ross. So I walk in this spot. Yeah, so I walk in this spot. Everybody starts dapping five, and like, mind you, I'm out here. Like, I got my Cuban iced out on.
Yeah,
I got my jewelry on. I got everything.
Icy.
So yeah, so I walk in this spot, and everybody's looking like, oh shit, like, you know, what is that Rick Ross? Like, they were still trying to distinguish.
They thought you were Rick Ross. Mind you, this is like mainly a group of white people, so like they literally are like, black guy, corpulent with a beard, that's definitely Rick Ross. And I'm like,
so if somebody wanted to kill Rick Ross, you would be in danger, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's already happened several times. I think there were a lot of people, they shot his Phantom up. Where were you?
I know about that. I'm just talking about just with Darius, bro. Darius, like, bro, like, you definitely...
I think there's probably constant beef with the boss.
Bro, it gets...
Somebody
he seems to
put it
handle
in the paper, or on TMZ or something like that, or the Shade Room, that they about to kill Rick Ross.
Oh, bro.
I definitely think you should go.
But you personally know Rick Ross, though, right?
That's my guy. That's big bro. Like, that's
really?
my guy. Oh yeah, that's my guy. Like, I mean, there's shit that's already went super viral on the internet. Like, they had this one bit where it was like, I went to his birthday party out in Miami, and it was me, him, and Russell Simmons in a post, right? And Russell Simmons was the one that actually put the post up. But me and Ross were standing next to each other, and Russell was right there. And so Ross puts his arm around us both, and he just starts like mouthing off something, 2022, we out here, we getting it, blah, blah, blah. And so Russell Simmons like puts it up. Mind you, I'll go back a little bit in this story. Russell came up to me at Ross's party, and he's talking to me, telling me like, hey, I'm about to start this new, like, Rush Card is done. We're about to open up this new business. We're going to be doing this and this and that. We want to bring you on board. And I'm looking like, what the fuck are you talking about, Russ? Like, I've never met you in my life, bro. Like, why would you be trying to do business with me? Come to find out, this whole time, he thinks that he's talking to Ross. So he thinks that he's talking to Ross, and then Ross comes up and, like, daps me up and, like, hugs me, and Russ looks like, wait, what the hell? So he busts out his phone, and he puts it on his Instagram story. And so on the Instagram story, like, it was me and Ross, and then it was Russ. But mind you, this is the first time Russ has been back in the U.S. since he went over to Bali to run away from all that other shit he had going on.
Right, sure.
And so people were so focused on me and Ross looking alike that they forgot that Russ was the one that took the video. And I'm like, yo, you guys are focused on the wrong thing right now.
Damn.
And so it went crazy over the internet. It was on every blog imaginable, like Rick Ross meets Rick Ross at his birthday party.
I'm going to have to Google that, bro.
Oh, my God, bro.
Google that, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you right
post.
now, it is still online. Like, it was on World Star. It was on the Shade Room. It was on TMZ. It was on New York Post. It was on every gossip site there was. And so, I don't have any social media. So nobody can find out who I am. Like, besides the LinkedIn, like, nobody knows who I am. So
so Darius, do you, like, I've seen things on the internet. I don't know how true it is, but, like, does Rick Ross ever send you out as his doppelganger? Like, do you go do shows when he can't do them?
So listen, at his birthday party, same shit happened with Nelly. Nelly was talking to me too, thinking that I was Ross. So then when Ross came over, Nelly was like, yo, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, yo, you should be getting double bags right now. Like, yo, send this motherfucker to China, let him do all the shit over there, and then bring the bag back, and y'all just break it down.
Send him to China.
I've seen this on the internet. Lil Wayne does it allegedly.
Listen,
and some other people.
Nelly does it with his brother, bro. He does it with his brother, and they go and they get the bag and they come back and they break it down amongst each other. And he's like, "There's no way you should be getting." He's like, "Bro, you go to China, they will never know that you're not Rose. Like, nobody will ever know. Like,
you just gotta do a couple of the signature moves or sounds, and you're golden."
Dude, he could just lip sync the whole thing, and they would just be like with their camera phones out, just literally recording him the entire time, bro.
Like a live recording.
Just hit him with a
lip sync. Right.
That's all day. And
so did you and Ross chop it up about that?
We have, and we've been talking about it, but I just told him, like, bro, I don't want to ruin your image like that. You know what I mean? Like, people find out, it's gonna be
not if you're in China, bro.
Nah, man, Rick Ross. So Rick Ross is actually in my top 5. Like,
that's dope.
It's kind of. I feel like people just don't really know how hard Ross goes. Like, you gotta go and listen to the album cuts.
Bro, he goes hard with everything.
What?
Like, everything.
Everything
music,
is just
fashion,
bigger.
Everything. Yep.
Everything, bro. Like, I'm such a fan. Like, I slept on the Port of Miami. I wasn't quite there because I heard that, like, that track was supposed to go to, like, Bump J or something like that, and whatever. I don't know, which was a huge artist in Chicago at the time. And Rick Ross took off, and then I didn't really catch up to Port of Miami until
it
like
was that
later.
Push On, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Pushing It?
Yeah.
I thought it was that. I thought it was that joint, that room 222.
Bro, so,
room 222.
No, I think it was Push, bro.
So peep the mission on this too. You alluded to, like, everything he does is bigger. So when I was at his party, I wanted to get him a giraffe for his birthday. But it was so hard to get the paperwork.
To rent one, or to buy him a giraffe?
Buy him a giraffe. So
come
a giraffe,
into America, shit is that,
bro.
Wow,
exactly. Like, so a giraffe, he has enough space. He's got 400 acres at the crib.
Yeah.
So he's got enough space to where
in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, so where that giraffe can live a good life. But the paperwork was just too crazy for the giraffe. And so he was like, bro, like, and I don't even know if I'm ready for the commitment of a giraffe. Like, let's do something, like, smaller. Like, let's get, like, a cow or something. And I'm like, bro, everybody has a cow. And I said, if you're going to get a cow or some cattle, like I'm going to get you the biggest cattle there is. So for his birthday, I delivered like probably a month later or 2 months later, some fucking buffalo. So I sourced him 2 bison from the state of Arkansas, had him driven down to Georgia and delivered it to him as his birthday present. Because I'm like, bro, anybody could buy a cow. Like, if we're going to do it and you're going to really call yourself the biggest boss, like, I'm about to get your buffalo.
Hey, can you give me a cow real quick, bro? I'm just saying, my birthday coming up in a couple months.
Man,
I'm putting it hey, no bullshit. No, just side note, bro, no bullshit. I definitely told my wife I'm going to buy 2 cows. I want a bull and a cow.
That's legit.
That's nuts.
But yeah, you Google that shit.
Why
like
not,
Rick,
bro?
Hell yeah. Rick Ross
do it. I support it.
Rick Ross gets 2 buffalo for his birthday. You'll see. You can read the whole story. It went everywhere. Again, so that was another moment that we shared.
I follow a lot of the Rick Ross stuff because he's just always doing crazy things on his estate. He's cutting down his own trees. He's got cattle. He's got all types of stuff. So that's a great story that you were the liaison between him and the bison. Like, I don't even know what you do with bison. Like, what do you do with them? Like, I thought you just eat them or something, right?
Nah, they hang out, bro. The male that he got, he renamed him Timbuktu. He's 2,600 pounds and stands about 6'2" on 4 legs.
Jeez.
And then the heifer is a year old, and she's about 800 pounds and probably is like 5'3" right now. But she'll get as big as he will. And they're essentially herd animals, so that's why it's better to buy them in pairs. So I bought him a pair of buffalo for his birthday.
So are they fixed or can they?
Reproduce? They can reproduce because they're from 2 different bloodlines. So they lived on the same farm, but they're from 2 different bloodlines. So the male Timbuktu is from one bloodline, like bloodline A, and the female, I don't know if he named her yet, but she is bloodline B. So they can essentially have babies together, and then he can become the biggest boss selling buffalo.
Right.
Regenerative bison. He's a big movement in the meat industry right now.
Crushing it, bro.
Man.
The biggest boss, man. So I mentioned top 5, man. Will, what's your top 5? Come on, let's do it. Go.
Top 5 what?
Bro, we don't got it.
Right.
They know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Top 5 rappers.
Come on, bro.
Oh, top 5 rappers. Come on, son.
Bro,
so
he from the suburbs.
First of all, fuck you. Are we doing like in that order, top 5, or just name them?
You can
just name them, bro. I don't need a hierarchy.
All right. Of course, Jay-Z. Definitely Jay-Z. Kanye West. T.I. Gotta throw out Jadakiss. I want to make this last one a good one. Biggie.
Love it, man. Yeah. That's a solid top 5. Darius, what you got, man?
Oh, man. I'm going to catch some heat for this one, bro. Because this is crazy. But in no particular order, I'm definitely going Jay-Z. Jay-Z is there. Snoop is there.
You from the West Coast, bro.
Yeah. Shout out Uncle Snoop. I mean, I gotta throw Ross in there. And then this one is gonna be a wild card. This might fuck people up. But again, it's my West Coast heritage, and like this nigga just has bars for me, and it's Game.
I think
you
got bars,
forget
bro.
how,
I used to bump that record. I can't remember the name of it. The one with the white cover.
The documentary?
Documentary, yeah.
Debut, yeah.
Used to bump that in high school.
It's hard.
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I guess I got to throw somebody from the new school in there because all my cats is 50
no,
plus.
I was going to ask you separately for the new school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. That's tough. But I mean, it's a coin flip, and it sucks because Tupac and Biggie are outside of my top 5.
Yeah, same for me.
Tupac and Biggie are outside of my top 5, but I'm gonna have to throw DMX, bro. I was a crazy DMX. Yeah, I was a crazy DMX fan. Like that was hard. Like DMX was like my guy. Like, but yeah, so that's my top 5.
That's hard. Trey. Oh, who you got, Rizzo?
So mine's gonna be like who influenced me.
Yeah.
Most profound on me. So mine's Tupac, Rakim, Black Thought.
Good one.
Most Def. And you know I gotta give it up to Kanye, man.
Hey, Rizzo trying to get invited to the barbecue, bro. That's what it is.
Hey, he's definitely getting invited to all the barbecues, especially in New York, bro. He's solid, bro. Get that man a plate. Girl, get up right now. Give him your seat.
Who was that? Keisha? Keisha was the one fixing the plate?
Exactly.
Keisha from 64.
Bro. That's not from 63rd. That's hard right there, man. I would probably have to, not probably, I know this. I got Jay. This one throws people off, but Cuddy.
Wow.
Yeah. Nuts, right? Ross and Ye, man. Like it's.
You said Ye twice.
Yeah.
I say Ye already.
That's how much you love him.
Yeah, exactly. He twice in my top 5. So wait, Ye,
conscious Ye and
Ross.
Fashion designer Ye.
Oh yeah, bro. I threw Drake in there, man.
Drake,
because he's just so influential, bro. I know you want to hate on him and people want to hate on him, but the bars are there, bro. Like the bars are just. I mean, he's really just taken. He's taken it from a mixtape and built it into, I mean, a really huge successful career that has really impacted our generation. That really just like, I mean, 2010 and beyond is definitely his. You know, but
yeah,
I mean,
Drake
Kanye,
makes my top 10.
GOAT. Yeah,
Drake
for sure. You better be in the top 10. If he doesn't, like, I just can't. That means you really a hater and you don't get women if you don't have Drake in your top 10.
Yo, G, did we have this conversation at the bar that night? I have faded memories of that, but did we have this conversation?
It's quite possible. It's quite possible. Like, dude, I'd be asking questions, bro. I think we did too. Like, I was super lit, bro. I had so many drinks.
I was too. And you said Drake, and you were like dumbfounded that Drake didn't make my top 5. And I think like we got heated about that. Because you were trying to tell me why Drake should be in the top 5, and I'm just like, no, bro, like that ain't it.
Dimari will want to, when he gets drunk, he'll want to argue with something like that. It's not even in his thing, but he just wants it to be in somebody else's so he can include it.
No, dude, I like having conversations. I like civil disagreements and stuff like that. I don't want to box nobody or nothing like that. And I was just really feeling Darius's energy that night, and so I just was like, because some people just, you know, some dudes are just like straight up street dudes. They don't want to talk. They don't want to socialize, whatever. As I've gotten older, I want to socialize, especially when I see like other successful black men. I'm like, yo, I want to chat. And he was just super receptive to that. And so I was like, bro, I'm talking to you, bro. Like, oh, now even like the Purple Heart guy was like, yo, bro, you supposed to be talking to us. I'm like, man, I'm talking to Darius, man. I stole Darius, man.
So do you remember what happened with the Purple Heart, homie, when the dude that tried to fight me ended up going outside?
I saw something happen and I was like, I'm not getting into it. I don't.
Yeah.
What happened?
So he ended up, so the dude that was trying to fight me, he ended up going outside after the chick, the waitress or bartender, whatever she was. That was his lady, I guess. She told him, like, yo, it's time to go. So he calls out the Purple Heart homie outside and ended up getting knocked out in the parking lot.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
I think I just saw like the aftermath of it because Mr. Orange Toes was like, bro, I think somebody just got knocked out. And I was like, what?
Yes.
I'm not going out there, bro.
Mr. Orange
Toes.
He
definitely got dropped. That. But yeah, that's
who's mad? And he was like a Marine, right?
Yeah, bro. He's a like active duty, like Marine, like Purple Heart.
The Marine got dropped?
No, the Marine ain't never got dropped, bro. Come on, bro.
That's what I thought you said, but
bro. Marines,
but
bro, if they getting dropped, they ain't ever getting back up, bro. Because Marines,
he didn't even hit him though. He like just gave him like a little like karate chop to the neck or something. And homie folded like a lawn chair. And I was
bro,
like,
I had an opportunity to hang out with a bunch of military guys. I was doing a lot of volunteer work with a couple organizations and mainly got really plugged with a lot of the Marines, bro. They're on another level. Mm-hmm. Leave these people alone.
For real.
You need to understand that you won't even know what happened to you. You'll just be waking up and people will be like, yo, you know what happened? You'll be like, I don't know what happened. Nope. Like, that's the kind of moves that they have, and they could just turn it on real quick. But before we wrap up, though, Trey, new school, top 5, bro.
New school. Jesus. I definitely gotta do Kendrick.
Ooh.
Definitely gotta do Cole.
Ooh.
So those guys are considered
bro.
new school?
Yeah, I didn't think they were new school in my.
I don't know, bro.
I put them up there with the other people. They've been around.
Yeah,
for
that's
a
the
minute,
top
bro.
10.
I'm thinking more like what's wanging right now, bro.
Bro, honestly, bro, I'm still lost, bro, as far as like who's new and like.
Bro, you a DJ?
I am a DJ, but that don't mean I know everybody, bro. That don't mean I know who's popping right now, bro. I mean, I'm gonna just keep Cole and Kendrick in the new school. Just let me have this. Let me have
for now.
School.
We're gonna give you the exception, but just know, listeners,
bro,
this is
tough,
not real.
bro,
They're not a part of the new school.
DJ Cool Herc. I mean, he's in my top 5.
Okay, so I was so it's like
Sugar Hill Gang.
So are we doing like,
sure,
like
bro?
the
New
Drakes?
school.
I mean, not Drake. So we doing more so like the Herbs and the Dirks and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro, new school, bro. The people that just came out, bro.
The Lils.
Yeah, all the Lils, bro. All the letters. Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna always say this, and this is actually the first time I'm actually saying it. But when it comes up again, I'm gonna say it again.
Okay.
I have to put King Von, at my top of my new school people.
Let's give it to him, man. Chicago,
Gotta give it to
Let's
him.
do it.
I hate the fact that man is gone now, bro.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that he's gone because he could really spit, bro. Like he would really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dirk,
All right, who else
I'm gonna
you
give
got?
it to Dirk.
Okay.
I got Dirk. I got PapaJay.
Yeah.
I got 2 more. Shit.
It's tough.
This is tough, bro.
I know.
Herb. I give it to Herb.
Oh yeah, gotta give it to
This
Herb.
nigga just went full Chicago.
Yeah,
basically.
bro. Like that's all I hit. Like new school. That's only. If I'm gonna give the new school people some recognition, it's gonna be Chicago people, bro.
Yeah.
Because we don't get enough of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, we've been
And
getting it a lot since 2012 with Chief Keef. But,
I wanna give
who
my
else you got?
last
Come on,
one.
give us one more.
I want to give a great last one, bro. A great new school artist.
Yeah.
What's dude name? Namir? What's it? Some Namir? What's his name? Namir.
No, they got funny names these days, but they all got a body though. So I better watch my mouth.
He's not new, bro. It's like a group of them, bro. Like Black China was dating one of the guys. He's like 18 years old. YBN? He ain't gotta be from Chicago. YBN Namir.
Okay.
Namir, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Corday. That's who it is.
Oh, you switching it for Corday?
Corday. It's Corday.
Yeah. Okay.
I got them mixed up, bro.
Oh yeah, Corday got bars, man. Corday. He dated Naomi Osaka.
No. You know they got the YBN, the gang. You know,
the gang. That's their group.
One of them had Black China.
Oh, okay. No, but he got Osaka. He really took it up a lot. He got him a tennis player. Shout out to Wimbledon right now. I love tennis. Anybody?
Yeah, bro. You actually my mom got me into tennis.
Yo, speaking of tennis, bro, I just found out today that you can underhand serve. I never knew that was a thing until today.
Shit.
Like, bro, I've never seen that in my life. I don't know.
Can I give an honorable mention? Let me give an honorable
the
mention.
rule is as long as it just goes across diagonally, that's all that matters, bro.
Yeah, bro. That threw me off.
So Darius, who are your top 5?
Hold on, Darius. Let me give an honorable mention because I had to put you on, Dimari, and I'm sure I'm putting you and Rizzo, Darius and Rizzo on. Fat Money, a.k.a. Top Money. AKA
from Sibley.
He's actually from the hood, bro. He's actually 147, bro. He's actually from
Sibley. Yeah, no, he got bars. So you basically just Chicago all day, bro. Respect.
Definitely, bro. I gotta give recognition, and I'm his DJ too, just to mention out there. But but go ahead, Darius.
Little shameless plug.
Yeah,
Darius, who you got? Top 5 new school. Let's get it.
I'm going Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Fabio Foreign.
Wow, love it.
Yeah, 42 Dub.
Hey, okay. Wow.
My guy, Kalon, for real. That's West Coast
I
shit.
don't even know that one,
Yeah, that's West Coast shit. Like, tap into him for real. And then I'm going to have to say the homie Blast.
Hey, he's killing it right now, bro.
Blast,
I'm a huge fan of his.
Blast is on some other shit right now.
Yeah, I'm about to have to check out some new stuff. I only heard a couple tracks, like just on playlists or whatever. Rizzo, who you got, bro?
Well, I'm not going to sit here. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Blast is straight West Coast.
Okay. Word. Yep. That's the BLXST, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Who you got, Rizzo?
So I'm not going to sit here in front and act like I know any new school dudes that well. Because I listen to R&B. That's like my shit. So
that's our vibe.
That's really what I'm at. But if I had to pick one or two,
as many as you can name, so you get to 5 that you like.
I'm just gonna name 2.
Okay.
I gotta go with Ghetto Lenny, St. John.
St. John.
That's my guy.
That's more R&B than hip hop, but we love Ghetto Lenny.
Love Ghetto Lenny. And then I'm really fucking with this new group. They haven't dropped anything yet, but their name's Mystic.
Ooh.
MY5TC.
Mystic.
Check them out on Twitter. Follow them up.
How do you know if they're lit if they haven't dropped nothing yet?
Because I've been working behind the scenes. I listen to it behind the scenes.
You got the insider trading. Okay.
Got the insider trading for sure, man. So for me, the new school is tough, man. Like it's crazy. It'll put you in a little space, man. Like they be on some stuff, but top people for me, gotta give it to Dirk. Gotta give it to Baby. Yeah. Gotta give it to Kodak Black. That's my dog. He got bars, man.
Yeah, Kodak
he's like 25 or something like that. He is like light years ahead of these dudes, bro. It's insane. I'm really rocking with ESTG.
Okay.
He's kind of decent, bro. He decent.
He be talking that. I mean, you driving around, you kind of take the gun out the holster and put it on your lap. You kind of feel like, you got ops. Ain't nobody looking for me. Not that I'm aware. You just told me somebody might be looking for, but you listen to it and you just like, oh yeah, they don't want nothing. Boy, I got the heat. It is crazy. So I like ESTG, and I don't want to mess this up. What's another one of these little shorties that I be listening to, man? Man, I don't even know, honestly. Like, everybody, probably like
everybody.
42 Doug be talking.
Everybody,
nuts.
I feel like
shout out to
I feel like I see a lot of people freaking out about this Jack Harlow dude. What do you guys think about him?
I never listened to the album, so I can't really.
I didn't listen to the album either,
I tried to listen to it, and then I just didn't care enough.
Listen,
Jack Harlow's pretty decent, man.
Listen, no hate. Jack Harlow killed that shit, bro. Like, I listened to that album multiple times. Like, I'll put that shit on just to vibe. Like, it's definitely a vibe. One thing though, shout out to my boy Chet though. So the other night, Chet calls me. Mind you, I live in Orange County, California right now. Chet's in LA off of Sunset. Chet calls me and he like, bro, I want to go work out at your gym. Like, can you give me a ride to the gym? And I'm like, all right. So I'm calling around trying to get him a car. No cars available. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to just jump in the whip and I'm going to come get you. And so he like, oh, you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's all love, bro. So I go pick him up. We get in the whip. I'm like, Chet, what you listening to? And do you guys know who Chet is?
No.
Chet Hanks?
So, no, his name is Chet Holmgren. He was the number 2 draft
Chet
pick.
Holmgren. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Number 2 draft pick.
Okay.
Yeah, 7'1", white
gotcha.
dude. Yeah, 7'1", white dude, hella big, super skilled.
Yeah,
he's going to be great
Where'd
for
he go
many
to?
years.
Who picked him up?
talking about him right now.
Who picked him up?
Oklahoma City.
Okay. All right.
So I pick him up. He gets in the whip, and I'm like, yo, what you listen to? He's like, whatever you listening to. And I'm like, oh, well, I've been mashing that Jack Harlow. He looks at me. He said, bro, do not put that on. And I said, what's wrong? He's like, bro, I can't get behind that shit. So I'm thinking automatically, and this is my fault for stereotyping, but I'm thinking the white boys fuck with the white boys for sure. Like, he gon' vibe to Jack Harlow. And he was like, no, bro. So I said, all right, well, play me, like, put your music on. This dude bust out the most gutter rap from Detroit that I've ever heard in my life, bro. I've never heard so many N's and B's throughout one song in my life. And I was like, bro, is this really what you listen to? He's like, all day. And I'm just like, yo. And then he started putting on the Chicago rappers. He put me on to some Chicago rappers I never even heard of, but it was that super like boom, boom, like in your face,
real.
like like punch you out. And I'm just like, damn, all right, Chet. So that's my bad for stereotyping my man, like thinking he gonna automatically ride with Jack Harlow. Because you know,
do you listen to Coldplay? You don't listen to Coldplay? No, I don't listen to Coldplay.
He's like, no, I listen to Coldplay. I listen to Gunplay.
He puts his list on, and it's just like sounds of gunfire.
Yeah. No, I feel like, dude, you never really know. But Detroit and Chicago really coming up with some stuff, man. Listen, dude. It's been so much fun talking to you guys, man. Like, truly.
I feel like I'm just kicking it with the guys on the porch right now.
I could really just do this, like, for forever, honestly. Like, and I know, like, Darius got so many stories. Now I dropped my phone. Sorry. That's my alarm saying it's over, guys. But and you got stories for days, and maybe we have to, get you on another time and do, like, a side-by-side extras or something with you and share some of those stories, man.
Listen, bro, what I want to do is I want to come sit with y'all, like right there.
I do too,
I'm going to fly out there. We can sit, bullshit, and then we bring some other people on, and I can just kind of get in there and ask them some weird-ass questions and just kind of mix it all together. Let's do it.
So, it's funny that you brought that up because it was something that, when we were first starting the show, we were talking about it, like we were going to do it in person and stuff like that. But we just found it was easier to do it virtually because we connect with people like all over the world, not just the country and stuff like that. So, and not everyone has the resources to fly in. And it's not like we're like a super popular show at the moment where, you have to come, sit with us on your press run or something like that. If we get to that point, then for sure, I think we would probably be open to changing our dynamic. But for now, we rocking with this. But hey, man, I would hang out with you at any given point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You put the ice on, bro, and I just I pretend to be your business manager. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm gonna put on a suit, like yo.
Yo, I even think that night in the club, like we were so drunk, like I took off my Cuban and put it around his neck, like, yo, like, just experience this shit for me.
You did.
And I said, yo.
I never had ice on before. I was like, yo, because I'd never even really been that close to ice except, like, one time when I met Twista, and it was, like, the strangest thing ever because, bro, it looked like y'all head is separated from y'all body, bro. That's what I'm saying. Me and you, Willie, like, when I met Twista.
Bro.
Well, when we met Twista, and the head, like, it feel like the head is, like, severed from the body, bro. That's how, like, crazy the ice is. And I don't even want to get into the Twista story, but
that's for another time.
That's for another time because it was just, like, not even good. But, what were you going to say, Darius?
No, I put that shit on, and I was like, you got, like, a Tesla. You got a Model 3 Tesla around your neck right now. Just talking shit because I was faded. We were having a good time, and that's what it was. It was vibe.
Yeah.
It was a vibe, bro. And I just really and from that moment we were connected. We like, man, how can we do some business? What can we do? Like, we figured it out. He's like, man, I was like, I got a podcast with my buddy. He's like, well, we'll start there. And so we'll see how we can keep building
yes, sir.
And keep it going. But Will Trey, man, if people are looking for you, where can they find you, man?
Man, follow me on Instagram, bro. DJ Will Trey. DJ Will Trey. Just follow me on Instagram.
DJ Will Trey.
We go from there, man.
Love it, love it. Darius, I know you know social, so if people are looking for you or anything that you're doing, where can they find you?
Don't find me, I'll find you. That's the line right there. Nah, they can follow my brand, man, at Ethica Girls, at Ethica Music. And I pop in on there periodically and make some appearances, but it's all love, man. No social gang for me, and it's just the way that I live my life, man. I like to have interactions and be in person, so I'll stay off the social media.
Yeah, love it, man.
Although I've had girls slide into my LinkedIn DMs, and that's weird.
But they stay away from that, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
Weird. It clearly says Darius Burton, though. So
exactly. Right?
It could be an alias.
Yeah. I don't know. What's Rick Ross's name? Like Clarence or something like that?
No, it's
Robert something.
No,
Robert.
It's Robert Williams.
Robert Williams, right?
Oh
yeah.
no,
he says
sorry,
it in some of the songs.
That's Meek. That's Meek's name. It's William Roberts.
William. That's what I thought his last name was Roberts. That's what I thought.
William Roberts. William Roberts is Ross. Robert Williams is Meek.
That's
That
the
crazy?
strangest
Crazy.
thing ever,
That's
bro.
so weird, man.
That is super
I
strange.
always mix them up, but yeah.
So you
Well, I
got to go sign
appreciate
a
you
Burton
guys.
Darius, man. No, we
Yeah,
appreciate
so-
you.
Yeah.
And
You can find
Rizzo,
me.
where people
Yeah,
find
you can
man?
find me at Rizzo Fields.
And you can find me at Judah Clan, and you can find us at Side X Side Pod on Instagram and all socials.
Yeah.
Until we're side by side next week, take care.
We'll see you later.
Peace, man. Appreciate you, boys.